Michael Patrick Shields with you 15 before the hour all across the state of Michigan. The Senate Democratic leader Gretchen Whitmer from the East Lansing area is on the other end of our line this morning. Good morning to you.
Hi, Michael Patrick.
I got to ask you, yesterday the governor went and met with House Republicans in the caucus room, and he had a little meeting with them about what he's going to say today about his proposal to revamp public schools. Are you getting any inside scoop on what he plans to say in Detroit today?
Well, I actually had my first meeting with the governor in about 7 weeks yesterday.
Oh, good, because the last time we talked, you said that you'd been calling him and he hadn't called you back. So when he came on the program, we played the clip where you said, you've been trying to reach out to him, and he finally got to you, huh?
He did. We had all of 10 minutes in between budgets and didn't get into any of the substance of what he's going to say today.
Some people say it's going to tie teacher performance, the test grades, to teacher pay. Would you be upset about that idea?
I've told the governor, himself, and I've told many people in the media, I'm willing to talk about anything to improve our schools. But first we've got to ensure that they don't raid the school aid fund and slash our schools when it's not necessary. There's money in the school aid fund, and it should be used for K-12, and that's my primary objective this week and next week and as we move the budget along. But I certainly am willing to engage in any reform because, I know there are fantastic educational experiences and there are some that are not good enough. So we've got to do better by our children.
Do you know if, by and large, that MEA vote on whether the teachers would be willing to strike met with any sort of resounding decision one way or another from the rank-and-file teachers?
I'm not privy to that.
No?
No.
So today, you, like a lot of us, will be trying to hear what the governor has to say and then reacting. But first and foremost, you think that the funding should be restored, should not be cut so drastically. You say rated, in fact. Is there anything that the governor could say today that would change your opinion on that?
Well, in terms of the school funding, no.
Period.
First and foremost thing we need to do is ensure that our schools are not cut. We don't need to cut our schools. This is a cut of choice by the governor, so that's my primary objective. But in terms of the reforms, I told him I'm open. We need to have a dialogue about it, and he suggested to me yesterday that he is interested in my feedback, so I will be happy to give it.
Chuck Moss yesterday on the program, the Republican from Birmingham, he's the appropriations chair in the House, he said that the school system in Michigan is like the auto business, that it technically became unsustainable at the rate that it was in terms of the benefits and the pay. Can you see that comparison? Does that make any sense?
Well, let me make another comparison to the auto industry, as long as we're going to make those types of analogies. Taking money out of the school system is like saying we're going to try to, create this workforce or these new generation of cars and eliminating our R&D division. It's penny wise and pound foolish to think that you can move the state of Michigan forward and divest from the education of our children.
You played a little hardball yesterday, it looks like. You were trying to get some amendments to some Senate bills, and you were getting nowhere, so you decided to just say, you know what, forget it. We'll let them go through as they are because you're not listening to us anyway. That was a way of making a statement, wasn't it?
Well, it was. We debated as a caucus about what the best thing to do on behalf of the people we, are fighting for, and to put up, 100 amendments that are going to go down on a party line vote, or just to let the Republicans own the budget and make our tough statements at the end about what this budget is actually going to do to the people of Michigan, we decided was a better, strategy for yesterday. And in terms of how we move forward, it's all we decide as we go along, and we decide as a group.
So it's a way of saying, you're not listening to us anyway. This isn't a bipartisan effort whatsoever. It's going down party lines. So just forget it. Do what you want, and we'll see how that shakes out. And then, as you say, when it comes out, you can say, they didn't listen to us. People of Michigan, here's what you got.
Well, no, this was our strategy for this point in time. We offered many, many amendments in the appropriations process, and, they were just batted down with the same old rhetoric about you're creating holes, which is not true. They've created a hole by taking this money out of the school aid fund and paying for a $1.8 billion tax break for business. So at this juncture, we decided our best opportunity is to message on each of the budgets in a similar fashion and to move forward in that. But, as we move along, we're not washing our hands of this. We are dedicated to making this a better budget for the people of Michigan.
Okay, so what happens next then? Do you go back to do you try to get their attention again, and what will we expect the rest of the way?
Well, today we've got 8 more budgets,
Yeah.
and the K-12 budget is one that they're talking about doing today.
Oh, boy.
And I think that that's the one where, we've had a vigorous debate on our public safety issues in the terms of the, revenue sharing budget and state police budgets. And, we're gonna put up a mount a fight, and we'll have tax bills coming before us soon. So this is one step in a process that has many weeks to go yet.
Have you been gavelled lately?
No, but
Okay.
doesn't mean it won't happen anytime.
I think it probably will. Let's keep in close touch, can we please?
Absolutely. Thanks, MPS.
Thank you very much. That's State Senator Gretchen Whitmer, the Senate Democratic leader from East Lansing, and probably the loudest voice now, obviously, for the Democrats and for education. She's a mother of 2 and has a lot of interest, obviously, in the quality of the education around Michigan. And it was a neat turnabout, wasn't it, where she said, if you want to talk about the auto business, let's talk about the fact that you can't produce high-tech cars without R&D behind it. So are we giving our children the R&D to work in the high-tech job market, where supposedly all the new jobs are going to be? 9 minutes now, make it 8 before the hour. Your calls are always welcome at 888-900-9966. Tomorrow we'll have Michael Patrick Flanagan, the state superintendent of schools, with his reaction to the governor's speech on education this very day. It's Michael Patrick Shields all across Michigan.